What's up, Felicity Reds, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I am going to be talking about the pros and cons of special education. Now, if you don't know what special education is, it is basically like a program when you're in school which helps you when you have learning disabilities. You know, basically when you're autistic and you can't do the things that average regular ed students can do. For example, algebra, long division, long multiplication, long subtraction. When you have learning disabilities, you struggle with all those things, myself included. And that's why I got put into special education, because of those struggles that I have. Because of my learning difficulties, you know, it was way too stressful for me to actually sit in a regular ed classroom and learn those really complicated tasks. It was very, very, very stressful, so I had to, drop out of that. Like, because I remember when I had regular ed math back in 6th grade, and it was so stressful. It was just extremely stressful, and I couldn't handle that because I didn't understand none of the math. It didn't matter if I got help on it, I still struggled with it because of my learning disabilities, so I was pulled out of that, and I was brought into special ed math instead, which is obviously a lot easier. And in special ed math, we learned easier math, and yes, it was stuff that we already know, but at least that's the pro of special ed. You don't got to worry about the super stressful regular ed, stuff, like math was honestly the subject that I really struggled with, and even English class and social studies class, those were special ed for me as well, because I don't think I could have, done well in regular ed English either. But I never took regular ed English, so I don't know much about that. But I remember regular ed math, it was misery. And I remember when I took French class at the very beginning of my junior year, that I immediately dropped out of it, because that was pure regular ed. Regular ed students could ace that class, but not me. It was way too stressful, so I dropped out of that, because I can't learn that too well with my learning issues. It was way too much for me, and I didn't realize it was going to be that hard, so that's why I dropped out of that class. So, yeah. And, yeah, so not only does special ed obviously give you a break from all that regular ed crap, but it also gives you a chance to socialize with new friends who also go through the same struggles that you do. Because keep in mind, they have learning disabilities as well, just like you do. And that's obviously why they are also in that special ed course. Or, they're in multiple special ed classes for that particular reason. They go through something that you go through as well. So when you are, if you're in a regular ed class, right, compared to a special ed class, once you get into the special education class, all those students in there with you go through the exact same struggles that you gone through. They were probably just as stressed out, It may not have been the same class as you that they had to deal with, but it was still obviously very hard for them, so, yeah. Versus regular ed, it's too stressful, and you just can't handle it. So yeah, you can make friends with students who relate to what you're going through. It helps you make new friends. It helps you socialize. Those are the pros of special ed. Now the cons of special education. One con I want to point out, you get treated like a kid all the time. Like, for example, I'll give you some examples. Like, say please and thank you. Look both ways before you cross the street. Make sure to use your words. blah, 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 blah. You get coddled and you get treated like a kid all the time. Like that happened in high school in my math class, and because I had to use a stupid iReady, and that was for little kids. Like, come on, why am I using that when I'm in high school? Like, for crying out loud. You know? Even at this, school that I go to now, it's a transitional school. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but, honestly, I get treated like a kid there, too, and I get sick and tired of it. It's like, and, the reason why they treat you like that, I heard, is because they think that everyone in special ed has mental disabilities. And that's not true. Not everyone there is highly autistic and nonverbal. I understand if a person is highly autistic, they're nonverbal and they, they jerk their head around, they make noises. That's fine to treat them like a kid. That I have no problem with. That makes a whole lot of sense. Because, yeah, they have those mental disabilities, and, that's when it's acceptable to treat them like a kid. But people like me, yes, I'm autistic, I do have learning disabilities, but I'm not mentally disabled. Besides my learning disabilities and my autism, I'm still technically a normal, average person. Yeah, I have learning disabilities, but, I'm still normal for the most part. Because I can socialize like a normal person can, I know basic knowledge at my age, obviously, because I'm 20 years old now. I know how to cross the street. I know manners. Why are you shoving that in my face for? Why? Well, because not everyone knows it. And I understand that, but I know it, so don't throw it in my face. Highly autistic people with mental disabilities, I understand completely, okay? That's fine. But please don't do it to me. That's all I ask. Thank you. So yeah, it's my little vent. That's what I can't stand about special ed. In high school I had to do the stupid iReady. It has those, stupid little monsters on that app and all that. That was just awkward, seeing that. It was cringe. I don't want to see that on there. And it's and not only is it cringe being treated like a kid, it's, it also, it angers me too. It's why are you treating me like this? Do I look like a kid? No, I am not a kid. I'm a full-grown adult, so please treat me like it. Come on, stop treating everyone like they're mentally disabled. That's not the case for everybody. We don't go into special ed to be treated like that. I never expected that at all. Alright? I never expected I was going to get treated like a kid. All that I was expecting was easier assignments. And of course making new friends. And like I said at the beginning of the video, those are the two main pros of special ed. But the con, you gotta deal with being treated like a child all the time. Even when you're pretty much normal besides your learning disabilities. You still get treated like a child. I get sick and tired of that constantly. Yeah, they just baby you and yeah. It's honestly it's stupid. It's don't treat me like that. I'm 20 years old now. I am an adult. Don't you think it would be awkward, for a 30-year-old to go on a job and that's how they get treated? Don't you think that's completely unnecessary? Come on, if someone is capable of, if someone's totally capable, then there's no reason to treat them like that. Learning disabilities is not an excuse to treat them like a kid. If they're highly autistic, nonverbal, then that's different. That's an exception. but not just because we have learning disabilities. It's got to be a lot more than that. So yeah. So basically, this is my video. Yeah, talking about pros and cons of special education. I mean, like, I'm happy to say, like, there's two main pros and that one con I mentioned. So there's two good things about it. You know, maybe more. I just can't think about any of that right now. I just wanted to mention the main things about special ed and why it's good versus what makes it, you know, suck a little bit, you know? But yeah, like, so, yeah, I know a lot of people are going to relate to me on this. A lot of people are going to agree. Like, maybe you have learning disabilities as well, and you go exactly through what I go through as well. So, yeah, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about here. It's not fun. It's cringe. It's humiliating. It's embarrassing to be in special ed sometimes. I mean, there's times where it's fun too. Don't get me wrong. And you know, like that's probably the third pro. It could be fun at times. You know, and you're not getting treated like a kid. You know, there's just fun activities. You know, things like that. Yeah, that could be another pro. You know, just sometimes special education is just fun, and you don't have those types of experiences when you're a normal, average, regular ed student. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I felt like that was a good key thing to mention before I ended the video. So, yeah. Yeah, peace out, Felicity Red Gang. And this is your Felicity Red Boy signing off. And we'll talk to you guys later. Peace out. Psh.